What is going on, guys? It is Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Today, we're going to talk about WW3. So stick around. We'll be right back, right after this. All right, what is going on, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. If you've never been here before, this is a live show, so anything can happen. Also, we are going to go over a ton of stories, so if you want to follow along, you can actually go to marfooglenews.com. In fact, if we show you an article here, or a video, or a tweet, or a picture, or a archive document, it will all be on our website. In fact, it's all updated live. Even if we add something during the show, that will be on the website. Now, if you go here, you'll see again, this is to the tune of WW3. We'll start here again. Click on that and you'll see that we have a bibliography of all of our sources, every single thing that we use, so then you can go and check our work. But you can also follow along or read along or even go back retrospectively and check our work. Again, over on the right side, if you want to support us in any way, that is the way to do it. There's our PayPal and all of our affiliates if you feel so inclined. And then at the very bottom, we'll talk about that later, but we'll have web-only content, too hot for TV. So, with that being said, let's just let you know, though, that everything, again, is... Nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. All right, let's bring in Dex. Dex is my co-host slash internet brother slash best friend from another men. What's going on, Dex?
That one again. Hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing just fine.
So we have a lot to cover. Let's get right into it. We have had several weird things going on behind the scenes as far as all of these platforms over the last few days. It's weird because they all do this stuff at the same time. Just people saying that they're not subscribed. So make sure to check that bell. Make sure to hit subscribe. And if you did find value in today's show, hit that like button. We're trying to experiment and see if it even works. Okay. So talking about, of course, there's going to be a lot of stuff here today. Russia's newest submarines are, quote, on par with ours, according to senior American general. Now, this is one of our military. You have a lot of people saying that, they're so behind, or China's so behind, and that, we're just so far ahead of them in leaps and bounds. And, a lot of that, I think that a lot of people are just like, American military is the strongest. But this is one of our American generals saying that their submarines are now on par with ours. So again, that's not some Joe Schmo saying it. It's an actual, the head of U.S. Northern Command. He actually says it's persistent proximate threat to the United States. Again, these have been spotted off our coast. They have even done kind of a prank on us a couple of years ago. They rolled up right into Seattle. They actually surfaced and took kind of a selfie video of them getting right through our defenses. So that is kind of freaky considering, nobody caught them and they were just able to creep in. Before, it was whoever had the quietest subs or the the lowest. It would make the least hum, and it was the quietest would be the best submarines because they were virtually undetectable. Now they are on par with us. So again, that's according to the U.S. Northern Command. It says a senior U.S. military officer has again sounded the alarm about the threat that advanced, very quiet, cruise missile-armed Russian submarines, as well as Chinese ones, increasingly present to the United States. At a hearing Capitol Hill yesterday, U.S. Air Force General Glenn Van Herk, who is head of the U.S. Northern Command and the U.S. Canadian North American Aerospace Defense Command, told lawmakers that Russia's growing fleet of nuclear-powered Yasin-class guided missile submarines, in particular, are nearly on par with the U.S. Navy types in terms of quietness and will present a persistent threat to the American homeland, unlike any before within 5 years. So there's a long game here. Even if we knew that they were going to overtake us in the future, what does the United States military usually do? I'll leave that up to you. On top of that, some of the things that have happened over the last week, which we're going to talk about now, have happened. And again, it looks like Russia is to blame for those fighter jets getting scrambled off of Hawaii. So there's a reason I say this. There have been multiple events that have all happened off of Guam, off of Hawaii, of course in the South China Sea, all of these different things that are going on at the same time. It looks like, or they're saying, that Russia is blamed for mystery launch of 3 missile-armed F-22s off of Hawaii. If you remember, they scrambled these jets and they said it was an unspecified threat. This was also 4 days after they locked down Pearl Harbor for absolutely no reason that they could tell us. That was kind of weird. We covered that, and then 4 days later, we've got jets scrambling. So what the hell is going on? It says Russia's Pacific Fleet kicked off large-scale maneuvers last week involving 20 warships, submarines, and support vessels, as well as aircraft, with the exercise seeing ships sailing up to 4,000 kilometers from their home bases and standard operating areas. They are practicing going far from home. They are practicing going by Hawaii. They're practicing going out and doing an actual war drill. The presence of the Russian Navy vessels 500 to 800 kilometers west of Hawaii are the reason why 3 missile-armed Hawaii Air National Guard F-22 fighter jets were scrambled on Sunday for an irregular air patrol, CBS News has reported, citing U.S. defense officials. So what is crazy is this was actually confirmed in a Reddit group 2 days before anybody had said it. That is really freaking freaky. We got messages saying that Reddit was talking about a military member on there, and then it was deleted. So I thought that was a trip, considering that basically somebody was saying that they were responding to this. I wonder if it's because of that leak, and maybe that leak kind of grew into more, and then they couldn't hide it. That was why they ended up telling us. So again, most people are going, oh, they're just saying, Russia did this. But now there is a confirmed. But again, Dex, does that mean that this was a secret drill? How did we not know that they were there, or were they just doing it to go watch?
Well, it could also just be that since they're doing their drills there, this is a reason to give for why we did what we did. If we did it for some other reason, right? Because the drills are now public, right? We even talked about the Russian fleet kicking off their maneuvers. So it easily could be just used as an excuse, right?
I don't know. But what I do know is that everyone is practicing right now. Everyone is doing these drills. Now, with Hawaii and with out the sea, one thing that I want to have is some of our active military members or some of our Navy talk about why that would be an important place to hit. Obviously, we have a base there. We have bases in Guam. We have bases all around the world, really. And they would have to take and actually target all of these to have a successful kind of invasion or takeover, if that was ever to happen, right? Right now, people are thinking, oh, well, they just chatted with Russia and everything's okay. First of all, Mr. B actually told Mr. Putin that there were 16 targets that they absolutely were off limits to hack, which is the weirdest thing ever. It's like, hey, we know you're going to hack us, but if you hack these ones, we're going to be really, really pissed off. But on top of that, it seems like they're okay. A lot of people were actually pissed because after that meeting, they gave Putin like 45 minutes to talk about it, respond. Dex, did you see some of that speech? I don't know if you got a chance to watch.
I don't know if it's that specific speech, but I read about Putin talking specifically about JB, and all of a sudden he's giving him a glowing review.
Exactly. I just want to remind you of WW2 and our terms with Japan right before they struck. If anything was to happen, it would be a surprise. I don't think that they would let us know that they're mad at us. If you go off of kind of what's going on right now, I have a feeling that there are multiple countries that have teamed up, and going back to 2019, in June through April, a lot of these countries were meeting, including NK. NK Kim Jong actually went and took this weird train ride to meet with China's president, Xi Jinping, and then, of course, just a couple months later, ended up meeting with Putin. Not only that, had some other of these, basically the opposite of our allies, go and meet in NK. Why in that 3 or 4 month period did everyone meet with these guys? I wonder if they are using that spot to actually get some stuff done that they couldn't under the watchful eye of, the Five Eye system and of course, our satellites and everything else. Maybe they're hiding something in NK. I don't know. It says the publication of CBS News report put to rest rumors about the F-22 scramble following a minor panic. In their statement on Monday, officials did not give a reason for the patrol, only confirming that 3 Raptors from the 154th Fighter Wing were launched between 4 and 5 p.m. local time from Joint Base Pearl Harbor-Hickam, and they cannot discuss further specifics of the situation. So I'm guessing that this was to put to bed some theories.
Yeah. So that's what it sounds to me, is like they had to have a response. They have to come out and say something. I mean, I guess they could say nothing, but that would cause too much turmoil. So they have to say something. So the real question we have to ask is this the legit story, or is there something else we don't know?
That's right. And I would always go with your gut on something. If something seems off, why 4 days earlier did they lock down the entire base? Is there something going on with hacks, or are they flying things out? Are they testing things that we don't know about? Did something massive just happen that we have no clue and we won't know any clue about? Remember, some of these things that have happened throughout history that we now know about happened and the public never knew about. There's been launches where we thought it was a nuke and it was a satellite or it was a rocket, and there were points where we were 5 minutes away from destroying each other, and then they called each other and kind of calmed everything down. Did something like that happen? There was, back a couple of years ago, the submarine, the Russian submarine, the top secret, super secretive submarine that ended up catching fire and sinking. 16 or 17 Russian sailors perished in that fire. The submarine ended up surviving, and part of the crew survived. It got towed back when they had the funerals for these 17 or 16 sailors. Their official came to their funeral and told their family members that they were heroes and that these heroes helped avoid a planetary catastrophe. So they died stopping a planetary catastrophe. We still don't know what the hell that was. Do you guys know? Because if anybody has the ultimate secret there, that I would love to know. And by the way, that day, all of the presidents, all of the prime ministers, everybody had a defense meeting. You had a COBRA meeting in the UK. You had, of course, Russia have their defense minister fly back on a small plane to go meet with everybody. You had Mike Pence turn around at the time. And then you had T-Man. His schedule was completely cleared that day, which was, that never happened with that previous admin. They didn't call lit at 6 a.m. or 6:01 after the alarm went off. So weird stuff is happening all under our noses. What do you think it is? Again, use your common sense. Use the actual facts mixed with your gut. And then we have China's space station is now manned as concerns about its space ambitions grow. The Shenzhou 12 mission put 3 astronauts aboard the new Tianhe space station modular in display of just how far China's space program has come. So another thing is they have now...
That was quick.
Yes, exactly. So obviously they had stuff before they were even talking about it, and now it's just all of a sudden, boom, it's done.
Yeah, it's like we've been covering each step along the way, but it seems like it was like 3 weeks ago they were, launching a capsule that could get there, and before that they had put the pieces up, but now they're already there with people. I mean, that's pretty quick.
That's it. This is absolutely weird. By the way, EMP Shield just stopped by. Thank you again. If you guys don't know, EMP Shield is not only our affiliate, though. We are actually, now we've become friends with people like Andrew at the company. They even did a Christmas video for their company when they were, before their huge government contracts and stuff. They had a smaller plant. I don't know how big their plant is now, but they even walked around and everybody did a Christmas video for the Foogle family. That's how much they actually care about the people here. Everybody from the Foogle fam has reached out to them and been super nice. But he is the only, the only affiliate that's actually come in and actually watched the show on a regular basis. You guys were here last night and donated to multiple creators. I've seen you all over the place. So thank you so much, Andrew. I really do appreciate that. You guys are doing a great job to help protect the country. We'll talk about that in a bit, but along with a lot of information that has been coming out for the last 2 years, I think people really have to kind of, stick to their boom booms and really start preparing for stuff. So thank you, Andrew. I assume that's you. If not, either way, thank you guys for actually supporting creators like myself and Stephen Banoon and others. So thank you. We don't have much support. So think about that. When you support a company that is actually going and supporting, the unmentionables, right? Michael Naher, thank you for subscribing. Cameron Combs, I am really sorry if you covered this, Marv. I've missed the past few shows. Hamas attacked is again. Wonder if Russia will try to invade the Israel. So Netanyahu and all that stuff is going on. He was voted out. We did cover that in the, of course, the web-only content, and then we have videos that we're trying to work out to try to cover that whole situation there. That is a lot of smoke and mirrors again as well. That was my opinion in my article. But yeah, thank you, Cameron Combs, for your support. Daniel Lazarus says every official release of information is guaranteed to be a lie. We won't know anything until the minute the power goes out. Thanks, Marv. That's the thing. If it happens, it's going to be a surprise. It's not going to be something that they're not going to warn us. It's not going to be like, hey, in an hour we're going to hit you and take down a building, right? It's not going to be like that. It's going to be much quicker than that. Brandon Frideris, thank you for subscribing as well. Welcome to the Foogle fam. And Ilea says the avoided planetary catastrophe was because they closed themselves in the room with the fire and did not let it spread to the nuclear reactor. Again, but if you look at what the design of that actual submarine, it's not a normal submarine. So I don't know if that could actually be true because it has the sealed off balls. Maybe that was the story, but I will actually catch up with you on that since we actually talk on Instagram. I think I can prove that wrong, but again, maybe you are right. Joan Freed, thank you for subscribing. Lauren Snedden, Andre Porter, and then Pert Atkins, the king is coming quickly, and Amber Porter. Thank you guys for all subscribing just now. So speaking of everything that is going on in the South China Sea, the island hopping exercises, now Russia is doing drills, the US is doing drills, South Korea is doing drills, Australia is doing drills, the UK is doing drills, we've got France doing drills, and then of course we have China doing massive drills along with putting their paramilitary on, multiple 200 ships plus, these big, huge tanker-like ships, and taking their place up in the South China Sea, basically pissing off the Philippines and all these other countries. At the same time, record-breaking amounts of jets flying over into the actual ADIZ in Taiwan. Lots of experts are saying that they are very close to taking that. Now, is this satellite and the actual space station, is this part of their future kind of military might? Obviously, they can't do a lot of military stuff at the ISS, which before, we shared with Russia and with China. Now they are separating themselves from us completely. Think about that. Russia has separated its internet. It's separated its, now it's pulled $120 billion out of the US dollar and put it into other forms of currency. In the central bank, they literally moved money out of the USD and into others. So now they're actually going to have to pay to do transactions in US dollars if they do that because they don't have money invested in that anymore. That's scary to me. Like, first of all, follow the money. and watch where it goes. That's my thoughts on it. Again, just my opinion. It says that China successfully placed its first crew members aboard its Tiangong space station, which is still under construction. 3 taikonauts, or astronauts as we call them, boarded the Tiheni core space station module in orbit, marking a new milestone in Middle Kingdom's rise as global leader in space. Well, the launch is the Shenzhou 12 mission is significant on its own, as a demonstration of China's space program. It is also highlighting the growing concerns about Chinese ambitions in space. Now, remember, a lot of the actual electronic warfare and everything else that's going on, that would be done, that can be done with satellites and other things without even re-entry vehicles at this point. So we've got a lot of concerns up there right now. And then back to this real quick about Hawaii, the Hawaii situation right now. Why are we ordering just so much more? You're going to see in the next quarter, I believe, all of this stuff come out. And why are we ordering all of these kind of island resources, island hopping stuff? We've already done a huge order for these island hopping kind of D-Day kind of boats. We are now doing all of these amphibious vehicles. What the hell is going on? Not to mention the last few years, you've seen countries actually prepare with night vision, things like this. What is actually going on? Dex, do you have an opinion on as far as just this whole situation?
Well, on the night vision side, I mean, we've spent quite a bit, and I think we continue to. So it seems that there is obviously a path that they're believing we're going to go down that's going to lead us to needing to be in a dark scenario. We've heard from DHS, we've heard from other people that we need to be prepared for lights out scenarios. There's all sorts of conversation about what's going on underground potentially, and obviously those are going to be dark scenarios as well. Yeah.
Wait, and make sure to put what you think in the chat. I'll turn the chat on here for a second. Thank you, everybody over there on DLive as well. You actually have Lisa K23 in there, Divine 1122. Jimmy Shively, thank you for coming in with a Ninja Guinea. Have no fear, false evidence appearing real. I love you all. Thanks, Adam. Let there be light. Divine 1122, we got Bear Claws. We've got Priscilla R. Says, hope no one is in the path of storms tonight. Yes, we've got all sorts of crazy weather. We've got droughts. We've got burning everything. We've got Snowboard over there on DLive. Susie P. We've got Cat's Meow. It says, thought attracts that upon which it is directed. I guess the law of attraction there. Susie P. Keep preaching the truth. Marf and Dex. And then Lisa K. says, thanks for all you do. Well, I appreciate that. And thank you so much for your support, Lisa. And Defrustrated, this crap is getting hot everywhere. Be prepared. That was Defrustrated. Well, it's not only getting hotter. I think that people think that it's just going to keep, that the wolf is never going to come. Look at what is actually happening right now. Something fishy is happening, and we can all smell it. Even inside of, our own place. It's like the fish got shipped right into our living room, and we can smell it. Well, we're trying to find it in the house, if you know what I mean. And then we've got Defrustrated with 338 million, now estimated 100 million by 2025. Pop control. Very that another weird thing. Deagle and all of that. Now you can't even access that because he passed away and the website is gone. I think Deagle was onto something, but I think that. And
it seems like they brought it back, but they brought it back with just the basic stuff that they used to do in the old days, like just military information. None of the stuff that was there. It's like they're trying to rewrite the history. Like, oh, nothing was ever here. Don't worry about it.
Are you talking about the Deagle report?
Yeah, the Deagle.com.
So they did bring it back, and then
it looks like the site was back up, and it had some information, but it didn't have the information that we all looked at. It had just military, stats and things like that they were tracking. That the company itself, the Deagle Consulting Group or whatever, that's what they were doing. Part of what they were doing.
And a lot of people did not know. We did a video on this we went into details about Edwin Deagle, and we actually went through his history. He was part of the military. He was under multiple presidents. He was in the White House. The guy was in the know. He had security clearance. The guy did statistics. He knew what he was talking about. Multiple presidents looked to him and said, "Hey, what do we do here?" So that guy knew stuff that nobody else did, and probably had a couple people kind of nudging him on the arm and saying, "Hey, we're going to do this later." I don't know. It really is always creeped everybody out. The Deagle.com population estimate was based off of all of this information coming from NATO, from all of this. That was his job. It was compiling statistics from everywhere. So, he would make that disclaimer saying, you got to take this with a grain of salt, but here's all the information. And then right after, a couple years of talking about Deagle report, then all this weird stuff happened. It's like, it's by 2025. Look at all the deadlines that are happening right now. Look at all of the prep. They're spending, and it's not just the military industrial complex buying gear because they're keeping that thing going. They're buying very specific gear, and they're buying very specific, weapons. They're actually drilling in a very specific way. We've saw the same thing before WW2, the very same thing. Okay, and then Wolf 80, Karen from Columbus, Johnny Doom, Hopkinson, all of you guys, thank you. No, thank you for all the purple Mafia badges, everybody that is part of the fam. I really do appreciate you. Again, thank you. All right, and then there is a serious possibility that China will occupy a Taiwanese island. There's now a serious possibility that China seeks to occupy one of the outer islands. A Sydney-based defense analyst tells Bloomberg in a new report about Beijing's eyeing the Pratas Island in the South China Sea, or Dongsha in Chinese, which through under Taiwan's control actually lies closer to the Chinese mainland and has been long claimed by Beijing. China's PLA military has lately launched almost daily surveillance flights near the disputed atoll, which remains uninhabited except crucially for a small forward base of Taiwanese Marines and Coast Guard officers. So if they were to take that, they would actually have to take out military there. It says Pratas is in the back of the spotlight, particularly after Tuesday, the PLA flew a record 28 jets into Taiwan's Defense Identification Zone, or the ADIZ, some of which broke off during the operation and flew near the island. Again, taking the Taipei, another warning. Also, just after President JB had been at the G7 summit in the UK and then NATO headquarters to shore up support for confronting China, especially in the Taiwan Strait. Now, and it's not just the US, it's NATO. It's NATO, the speech. If you watch some of the speeches that they did, they're basically saying to the entire world, all of NATO is saying China is our number one thing and we need to take care of this now. At the same time, China is saying, well, we need the heavenly mandate. We need to be the ruler of the planet because no other way is going to satisfy our culture. Our culture, Xi Jinping, is totally into the heavenly mandate, or the mandate of heaven, which is something that goes back, centuries, right? He's into it. And the people there, their culture, a lot of people believe that he lost the mandate of heaven. This is something that's going all around social media, which they monitor. And he's pissed off about that. That's actually bothering Xi Jinping. So we actually had multiple people say that their friends in China said that on Weibo or WeChat. I forget which one is their social media. Dex, do you remember if it's Weibo or WeChat, or is it both one and the same?
Well, they're both. They're different, but WeChat is the main one, and Weibo is kind of like a Twitter.
On one of those, basically everybody is talking about how he lost the mandate of heaven, and in their culture, some of the signs saying that the ruler or the emperor lost the mandate of heaven, which says China should be number one, and all of this, is that they have natural disasters, and now they've had a ton, including sinkholes that pulled in people, flooding, just crazy natural disasters are happening in China as we speak. In fact, there's even more flooding as we speak. There's crazy weird storms in areas that have never happened before, and they're not going to say it's warming or cooling or any of that. again, in that culture, they believe that that's a sign that their ruler has lost that mandate of heaven. This sounds silly, but this is really what is going. Like, this is what people are really talking about. It seems nuts to me. Taiwan Strait, that's another area to watch. It says China's warplanes made more incursions into the southern part of Taiwan's air defense identification zone last year than in the previous 5 years combined. The Bloomberg report underscores, while Beijing has blamed the exercises on Tsai's refusal to accept that both sides belong to one China. The increase has tracked with U.S. efforts to step up arms sales and diplomatic exchanges with Taiwan. We've, of course, sold them jets. We've sold them materials. We've sold them actual software. We've sold them pretty much everything. And we're just short of saying that we're going to straight up back them up. It says this has resulted in the U.S. responding by upping its own reconnaissance flights, monitoring the islands off of Taiwan, also as others are also deemed under threat from the mainland, particularly the Matsu Islands, made up of 19 islets off the southeast coast of China, which are inhabited and also uniquely administratively divided between the Republic of China and the People's Republic of China. So you've got multiple areas affected right here. So a lot of this stuff is all going on at the same time. We have so many things all at once. I'm going to go over to the chat and say hi to you guys. Make sure that everybody is here. Maui Racing Realtor, thank you. Sergeant PLO, thank you so much for subscribing. I don't know why lately, but we have just been getting so many new subscribers during live streams. Thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. They wipe a lot, so maybe, yeah. I don't know how that happens. So Sergeant PLO, Wyvon Lieber, JWC, Jeff Ward, Christine Johnston, thank you so much. Malice Divine, HDGHRDSY. I think you just did some keyboard there for your name. Thank you for subscribing. Question Everything. Ripagert, thank you so much. Janet R. Dr. Richard Levin, thank you so much for subscribing. T. Hen Can't Be Stopped. Justin Phillips, John Dennis, Gavel's Law, Big Rooster, Alex Jabier. Let's see here. Alex Jabier, Ron DeSantis. Thank you so much. I wonder if that's Jeff Stephenson, Joby Wan. Thank you so much. James McGurk, SML, and Kate Paul. Whoa. Kate Paul, thank you so much. Says, I'm still around, just not too chatty lately. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you. Brandon Frith, Joan Freed, I appreciate that. Monique Green, Chris Vanderpool, cruising it. Thank you guys for subscribing. Have no idea why there's so many new people right now. Speaking of which, new people, if you have not seen this yet, we highly, highly, highly recommend you guys go check this out. We really do believe we are helping people by showing you this. EMP Shield is a device that can actually protect you against all three phases of an EMP. It can also protect you against different forms of EMP. So any kind of electronic warfare that involves, overwhelming the electronics. Again, now we are finding out about EMP cannons and all these other things as well. So make sure to go to marfooglenews.com/EMP if you have not already. Part of the commission goes to helping the channel. And then also on top of that, you get a huge savings. They end up giving you directly $50 off per device. And that always combines with whatever kind of sale they always have. So that's something that we get that nobody else gets. And it is really, 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 really awesome. So again, that's marfooglenews.com/EMP. It helps support the show and it helps protect you against solar flares, CMEs, and EMPs. Remember, this is the same stuff that is going into installations. Military government agencies like DOD, DHS have now worked with EMP Shield, and now DEMSO team has now picked them up, helping them protect the Texas grid. So if you want the real deal, make sure to go there. marfooglenews.com/EMP. T-Man Voter has subscribed, and Brian Durant, Angel Rose, thank you guys. Don't know what the heck is going on there. All right, Dex, do you want to talk about the ships once believed to be headed towards Venezuela changed course? What the hell is up with this?
Well, I don't know. It sounds like they're now, changing up what they're telling us or what they're actually doing. But this is coming from U.S. officials telling us that these ships that were potentially carrying, arms or other things like that have changed courses. They've actually changed courses several times, apparently, but this time they're headed into a different direction. I think it's into the Mediterranean.
Now, remember, Venezuela is a 30-minute Mach 2 flight from Florida. Not saying that that's what would happen, but also if you wanted to launch missiles that are made or possibly purchased by the I country there, I ran to the store. That would be why they're worried about it going to Venezuela. If Venezuela gets it, and Venezuela's again, they're all kind of in the same list, all these sanctions and everything else that's going on. Think about this too. Go with your gut. Venezuela was one of the places that had a massive blackout. Mexico, massive blackout. All these countries that have certain leaders around the world. There's all sorts of weird connections in all of these different places. Also, in the I country recently had a big one. So there's like a conflict going on right under our noses, and we never get filled in on it. It says that the I ships previously believed to be originally headed towards Venezuela changed course early this week and now are steaming north up towards the west coast of Africa, U.S. officials said. The ships, which U.S. officials believe were originally headed to Venezuela for an arms transfer, appeared to change course several times during the journey from the I country and could do so again. But after the course change early this week, they're likely now headed either into the Mediterranean, potentially planning to sail off of Saharan, or north towards Russia, according to a defense official briefed on the situation who spoke with the condition of anonymity to discuss the sensitive subject. Okay. Again, this is so if you do not follow my channel, we watched as the U.S. was monitoring one of their huge, it was basically like an oil tanker that they turned into a forward operating base. They put basically a plate on the top so they could use it as a landing craft for helicopters and different things. That was headed towards Venezuela, and then they were worried about it bringing arms again. 4 days after that, you had I country's largest Navy ship end up catching fire and sinking. But of course, it's unrelated, right? And then they have them monitoring them again, once again thinking that they're bringing arms down, and now they change course. What the heck is going on here? And of course, the whole time, I country is saying, "Hey, we can go over where we want. It's Freedom of Navigation Act. We can go. These are international waters. We can go wherever we want. You can't stop us. You shouldn't be able to unreasonably search us or seize us." So something's happening. Hopefully, not something bad here. Or are they picking something up?
Yeah. What's interesting? They've never crossed the Atlantic before. I just found this out. They had never crossed the Atlantic before, and I don't believe that they've made it all the way or circled all the way around the entire coast of Africa with their Navy. They've never done any of those things. So, it's kind of interesting, though, that they were going to cross the Atlantic, and then they turned around and went back. I don't know if, something happened, if they're picking, like you said, they're picking something up, if we convinced them not to do it, or if they just, got scared and said, we're not going across.
That's super weird. Well, we'll see what happens with it. It says it changed. These are ships that take forever. They go slow as heck. So they could change again. We don't know. They say that the course change says that, diplomatically they're backing up or they're backing away or something. Rochelle, or I don't know. I thought they were already going to go to Venezuela before, and then their ship sank. It's like, are we just knocking them out of from the sky, from space or something? Like, did we do a warning shot across the bow? Put put a 50-foot laser and burn the water away in front of them, and they're like, oh, okay, well, turn around, buddy. All right, that's a big laser. Oh, not doing that. Yeah. We'll just turn around now. Kojo Ofori, Keith Erd, and of course Stephen McMahon. Thank you. Says God bless all of you, and thank you for everybody who's a new subscriber. James Fox, thank you for your support. You can always write something there, but you know that. And then Rochelle Schnoon, what? You have a name. Thank you for subscribing. Ian Hanna, thank you. Heather Smith says, you guys are great. Thank you for all your hard work. Thank you, Heather Smith, for thank you for your support. Defiant 1969 as well. Thank you. And then we have the IDF red alert siren sounding in southern Is. Again, we told you we would try to cover this. It says earlier in the day, the IDF said that it conducted air against militaries in the Gaza Strip, stating that the were a response to launches of arson balloons. We've talked about these before, from Gaza into Is. It says Is Army early on Friday tweeted that sirens were sounding in southern Is without providing immediate details. Later, the IDF clarified that the sirens were activated due to incoming fire, not rockets from the Gaza. Now, if you are new and you wonder why I say some things differently, just to let you know, we are no longer, it's not, imagine it's like I'm a ship and this platform is international waters. I'm trying to come up with an analogy here. There's freedom of information, freedom of travel act or whatever. So any country can go wherever they want. But they basically treat you like we are the I country. All of us are the I country, and yeah, you have the right to go everywhere in the water, but if we go here, then they laser us or they shoot us down. Basically, if I go over here, they punch me in the face. If I go over here, they stab me in the eye. If I go over here, they trip me. If I back up, well, you know what happens then. And that's the worst. So that's why I say things a little bit differently. There is an algo that has a rhythm to it, and it picks up everything. The Jerusalem Post reported that Hamas launched a rocket into Is territory after the IDF carried out against the described, as it described, Hamas military objects located in Gaza. So there's, again, these attacks come less than a month after Tel Aviv and Hamas agreed on a ceasefire, ending 11 days of rocket fire and airstrikes that took out 250 plus Palestinians and 13 ISIS. So it was a little bit uneven there. Again, one side had a defense system, the Iron Dome. So that happened. Go ahead.
It'll be interesting to see if this just, again, is an isolated thing or, a short-lived thing versus if this, ramps right back up to what we saw last time. Last time it was, a good week or more of quite a bit of craziness over there, especially if, you're just a civilian trying to live.
Now, and, I should have talked to somebody like Stephen Benoon on something like this, but or have him call in or something, but so, did they know, how long did we know that Benjamin would be replaced? And then how fast did that happen? It seemed like, so I actually did not know that Naftali was already assumed office, and that might sound dumb, but again, I did not realize it would be that quick.
Yeah, I don't know how that process works. I'm not familiar with their, election process, but, even with ours, in theory, we know usually we know in November, and there's a whole couple of months before you make a switch up, right?
Yeah, you just said the number one filter word, Dex. You realize that, right?
Which one?
We're going to get a Wikipedia under our Wikipedia under our video, saying it was. You can actually say the other part. You could probably say the more gross version that has ER in it, the one that's naughty, and they wouldn't do anything about that. But you say the other word, and they're like, "Oh, you're an enemy of the state. We're going to watch you with satellites." Several major airlines are dealing with disruptions after widespread website outages. Wow. Website outages. So we covered Southwest had a nationwide grounding of planes. This is something that went away after an hour. Not many people knew about. Again, it went out, and then obviously it made the news because a lot of people's flights were canceled, delayed. People spent the night in aircraft because even that 1 hour totally put everything behind. And then people were there. In fact, we had a couple Foogle fam that said they ended up spending over 32 hours in an airport because of that 1 hour delay. It screwed up their plane. They ended up having to catch a different plane, and it ended up being to a specific place that only could, people ended up, it really screwed things up. Infrastructure is getting attacked right now, or it's, different groups attacking their own infrastructure. I don't know. But what I do know is that every one of us should be aware of this and be prepared for absolutely anything. The whole point of preparing is being responsible and having insurance on the things, that we have. I mean, if you have insurance on your car, you have, house insurance, you have rentals insurance, you have life insurance, you have probably electronics insurance on most of your stuff. If you have a camera or if you have a TV, you usually get the warranty. What this whole thing is about is having insurance for anything, whether it be an earthquake, whether it be a tornado, whether it be anything. It's smart to do. The smartest people in the world prepare for the unexpected, because the unexpected always happens, because it's unexpected. They believe that this is just the beginning. Solar winds got into all of the top 500 Fortune 500 companies. Every place that you probably know their logo and have their jingle memorized, they are going to get hacked and taken down and whatever else. Sounds like with Southwest, they did a nationwide grounding. Over 500 flights at least were canceled. That within an hour was fixed. Did they pay? We don't know. Was this a ransomware, or did they? Was it some other kind of cyber thing that they fixed? Don't know, because guess what? We know officials have said that most of these actually go and get paid, and then it goes unreported. So we have no idea what's actually going on. The entire West Coast could lose internet for 4 or 5 hours, and the whole thing could be hacked or something, but we wouldn't know. They would just say, "Oh, it's an outage. It was this or that," but really they might have paid somebody $6 million to get their information back. Says several airlines, including Southwest, United, and Virgin Australia, acknowledged ongoing website system issues late Wednesday. In a statement to CNN Business, the airline said that their teams worked quickly to restore systems following the outage. Let me get a vote. I'm gonna turn on the chat here. Let me get a vote. How many of you think that Southwest and all of these other airlines had just a normal outage, like it's power or something, a normal outage? 1 for yes, 2 for no, you think it was something else, possibly a hack. But yes, 1 is yes, it's normal. 2, it's hacked. One for it's just a normal outage. 2 for hacked. That's insanity. Almost 4,000 watching. Thank you for joining me late tonight. I appreciate that. Ricardo Moeller, I appreciate that. J-Dubs, look at all those 2s. That is incredible. J-Dubs Dubs, thank you for subscribing. As always, if you subscribe during the show, you will get a shout out. Steve Johnson, Thomas Popham, I appreciate you. Yorkie Mom, Dwayne Beauchamp, thank you for subscribing just now. Steve Dean. And by the way, we hit 150. We hit 150,000. God bless all of you. Thank you so much for making us what we are. And to all the new people, we do have our main channel at 183,000 subscribers. That one is bleeding because of all the YouTube stuff. So if you can, make sure to go subscribe to that as well. If you can, press the like button for this video, and then, of course, visit our website, marfooglenews.com, for more information. All right, Dex, will you talk about the bombshell report about the network encryption was deliberately weakened?
Sure, Adam. So apparently there's an encryption system. Well, there are encryption systems in lots of different things, but apparently they have found that one of these was deliberately weakened back in the past and done in a way to make it easier for them to get access to internet traffic across that. So anyway, a newspaper shows that 2 old encryption algorithms still used in the mobile networks can be exploited to spy on phones' internet traffic. So that means they can actually use these algorithms to actually get access to the traffic, which is what you're actually doing on the internet. So like any of your emails, anything that you're surfing on the web, etc. So gaining access to that. Now that doesn't mean you're vulnerable unless you're, if you're using a VPN or something, then you've got your own layer of security. But in this example, they're saying they're able to get in and get to the stuff that you aren't protecting. So if you're doing stuff that you're not protecting, they can get access to it.
So if you didn't know this, again, one of our, I might as well do it now. This is actually really fitting. If you did not know, this was actually supposed to be in the beginning, but whatever. Let's see. NordVPN. You've probably heard about them. Some of the biggest people like Casey Neistat rep them. We are very lucky to have them as an affiliate because they are one of the best rated ones. If you want to protect yourself against cyber threats, this is what we think you should go with. Otherwise, again, you can go in the top 5 of all time rated as far as customer service and everything else. But the reason why we really picked this is because we knew that a lot of the people in our Foogle family were not computer junkies, and we're not all cyber experts. We're not all hackers, right? So this one has an on and off button. It's just a toggle switch. If you download this, you can just turn it on and it puts your IP address, which directly links to you, to your real address and to everything about you. It puts it somewhere random. So it just does it for you. You can also do things cool, like you can put yourself in France and Netflix will actually show you different content thinking you're in France. Or you can put yourself in Australia and you'll see Australian TV shows. It's really cool stuff. Actually gets unlocked when you do a VPN. It basically says that you are there, but it also protects you against different kinds of cyber crime, identity theft, and everything else. And nobody needs that. Any affiliate that we have, obviously we need to make a living. Dex needs to make a living. We make sure that it either helps a life, saves a life, or helps you guys in return. People can complain all they want, like, oh, it's an ad. Out of a 2-hour show, we maybe do 4 minutes or something of our affiliates, and those affiliates do help us, so we do appreciate it. But again, we are very careful to pick, and we've pretty much kept the same ones for 2 years because of that. There have been so many companies that have said, hey, will you do this? Will you do that? Will you do that? We're very picky because I don't want to represent something that I don't think will help people or save somebody's life, or we've thought about life straws and things like that, water filters and things like that. But again, we've stuck to these things because I think that this is directly what matters. So I hope everybody gets that. And thank you for the Foogle fam for backing us up and everybody that has supported us in the past. It really is amazing that you guys are still with us. A lot of you have been in that chat for 3 years. All right. So this report actually says that 2 old encryption algorithms still used in mobile networks can be exploited to spy on phones' internet traffic. So, you better watch what you're doing there. Go ahead.
Hey, I was just going to jump in real quick. One of the things, and just to summarize real quickly, there's one other point in here that's really interesting, is that the way the exploit was done was when it was created in a way that it was super weak. So it was done intentionally, even though the way you would have created the algorithm would have been typically strong. In other words, they said, hey, we're going to go try and create this the way they did it. And if we did it with random number generators, et cetera, over and over again, we never found a way to be as vulnerable as they did, right? So whatever they did, like somebody came in and said, we're going to do this. Like, was it, three-letter agency? Was it, government regulation, or somebody in the past saying, you're going to intentionally make this easier? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no. So obviously this is done.
Yeah, it's pretty
with
geeky,
with a very specific purpose. It's done with a very specific purpose. Actually, that speaking of done with a very specific purpose, somebody just subscribed. Marf's a asshole M. I think the M was an accident. Maybe their pinky hit it or something. Thank you so much for subscribing. Make sure to hit the dislike button. It also helps engagement. Now you can't even see it though, which I actually complained. I wanted the dislike ratio. I don't think it even shows on phones or something. I like seeing the dislikes. That tells me like I have 110 haters or 60 that have 2 accounts. It also helps us too. So, thank you, Marf's a asshole M. Why the M though? That's gonna kill me. Leonard Fletcher, thank you for subscribing. Fifth Dimensional Perception, thank you for subscribing there. Watchful Night and Jim Elliott. Thomas Archambault, thank you. Jen from Chicago. Robinson Jonathas. J-Dubs, thank you guys, everybody that's there. All right. Cameron Combs says, we interrupt this broadcast of Marfoogle News to bring attention to the joys of chalky milk. LOL, thanks to everything, Adam and Dex. It means a lot. Defiant 1969, it says, this is Ferret Dad off of D-Live, and we got 3.8 earthquake today at 3:18 p.m. I got EMP, got 4 for my trucks and 1 for my house. Hey, thank you, Defiant. I appreciate that. And then Stephanie Montgomery, thank you. There's so many subscribers. I don't know what the heck is going on. I can't even say all these in one show. Like, that's incredible. Like, I feel extremely blessed all of you guys are here. Thank you. All right. Moving on. Obviously, you guys need to be careful with your phones now. Police bust a major ransomware gang. Chop? Dex, is that what it's called? Chop?
Maybe it's Clop. C-L-O-P,
Clop?
I think.
Is it? It looks like PSYOP. Look. Oh, no way.
Oh, that could be an I, yeah.
No way. Is it actually called PSYOP? Or COP? I don't know.
They probably used the number 1 in there just to be cute.
It says police in Ukraine, and it's in Ukraine, announced it arrested members of the ransomware gang that called itself Clop, seizing computers and cash in a major international operation. Oh, see, here's the big story where they catch the bad guys and now it all goes away after they sneak something in, right? The Ukrainian police, in collaboration with Interpol and law enforcement agencies from SK and the United States, have arrested members of the infamous ransomware group known as Clop, according to a press release from Ukrainian police. So what if this whole time we were... Dex, do you realize, like, what if they were publicly saying Russia was doing it and it was like Ukraine?
Yeah.
Like Ukraine's like totally setting them up or something. Like, if I know that there's more to it than that, and it's probably, CIA or something, but dude, really? Clop?
Totally. And some members of the group are probably out there and they're probably gonna be offended to Clop. Because it's probably what we thought it was, which is the other one, and they're gonna come after us. Just kidding.
No, I think Clop is a great name. I honestly thought it was. You're so talented.
I really think it's a 1. I'm looking at it. It's a 1.
C10P. Whoa, we're like internet brothers. Jinx, you owe me a soda.
Yeah, these geeks and their numbers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. On Wednesday, the Cyber Police Department of the National Police of Ukraine announced the arrest, referring to 6 defendants, and said it conducted 21 searches in the homes of alleged hackers in their cars in and around Kiev. The cops said that they confiscated 500 million Ukrainian... I got to zoom in on this one. 500 million hernia. Roughly $180,000. Wow. Computers and cars. They only had $180,000 though, but they've what were they, like Hondas or something? Police published a video of the bus which showed local law enforcement agents as well as Korean agents entering the houses of the suspects, going through their belongings and counting cash. Sounds like a rap video. The video also shows officers attempting to access devices using gear from Celebrite, the digital forensics company. What? There's so much weird stuff out there. It's unclear how many people were arrested and whether the arrests hit the main developers and hackers behind the gang. As of Wednesday morning, CELOP dark website was still online. Okay, so nothing bad about these guys.
They published a video, right? The police published a video of it.
Why?
Yeah, and did specific things like, let me show you we're using Cellbrite. Right?
Why?
I mean, I don't know. It's just it's very interesting. I'll just say that and leave it at that.
There are so many like side. Oh my gosh, that would be so clowning. They literally name it PSYOP. Like that looks like PSYOP. Ransomware PSYOP. But what if Ukraine was doing it to set up Russia? Okay, if you didn't know this, if you didn't follow before, the one that hit the one of the ones that hit the Colonial Pipeline that knocked down half of our infrastructure on the East Coast, it didn't affect any computer that the main language on the computer was Russian. It's like that was their like, you know, smoke and bang bang right there. They were like, oh well, obviously they didn't want to, you know, hurt Russians, so it was Russia, or at least that's what they said. You know, they didn't say, oh, well, we had a signature that led right back to a specific address in Russia or whatever else. They just said, oh, it didn't affect it. So that's like too obvious. That's like leaving a calling card, you know, like it just doesn't seem, it's like, oh, we're the courteous crooks or we're Robin Hood. We don't mess with our own people or something. It's just weird. Super, super weird. Bradford Prophet, thank you so much for subscribing. Appreciate that. As far as this group, who knows? Why are there so many ransomware groups now? I don't know. Scientists still puzzling over the deaths of birds in DC area. Now, if you followed this story when it happened, it's really creepy because, Dex, this is like a virus or something, or, you know, it's something.
Oh, yeah, they don't know what. All they can assume is it's something that's spreading.
It says an ornithologist at the Smithsonian told WTOP on Tuesday that experts are still trying to figure out what's behind a mortality event that's been plaguing birds in D.C. area. We don't know what the cause of it is for the bird mortality event, said Dr. Brian Evans, an ornithologist at the Smithsonian Migratory Bird Center, who studies the population ecology of wild birds in the D.C. area. It's a rather large event. And scientists are also trying to figure out how widespread this problem actually is. It appears to be mid-Atlantic for the most part. Said that it's stretching from Delaware to Pennsylvania down through Virginia. He said he's heard of reports of affected birds in Cincinnati and possibly even Florida. What the heck is going on here? This is basically, you know, down the side of the East Coast. These birds are just dropping out of the sky. And then they also have like weird stuff around their eyes. Just weird stuff. It says
they're going blind. Their eyes fill up.
It's really gross. And it says there's any number of possible causes, from environmental factors to even the recent emergence of brood X cicadas. But Evans was quick to point out that there is no way to yet know what's behind this mortality event. I don't think I've covered mortality events. I've covered like mass die-offs. But that's what they're saying. These birds are falling out of the sky. If that's not biblical freaking end time stuff, I don't know what is. And they don't know what it is. They don't have an exact reason. That's creepy.
Yeah, and this report also reiterates, like, we have to treat it as a potential spread and we have to, like, everybody needs to use bleach, clean bird feeders and baths, take them down so that you discourage the birds congregating, and they don't want you touching things either because they don't know if it's going to spread to people.
They're telling us not to touch the birds, but also to take a 10% bleach solution and clean anything it touches. It says people should remove their bird feeders and bird baths and clean them with a 10% bleach solution. Birds are great at social around these resources, Evans said. So the Geological Survey says people should remove their bird feeders and blah, blah, blah. Many people, including me, enjoy feeding the birds, says Evans said, but we don't recommend doing so until we get word from USGS that it's safe. That's so weird. Okay, so the USGS, like the same people that do earthquakes, are I guess they do the environmental stuff too. I actually did not know they do the bird stuff like this. It says some of the most prominent symptoms include blindness, often from the eyes that are crusted shut or swollen, and neurologic symptoms. Hello, people. Such as tremors, weakness, or an inability to stand. This literally sounds like a weapon. Does it not? Let's go over D-Live. Priscilla.
Let's not forget, sorry, Adam, let's not forget we have, different versions and variations of the bird flu. And one of them was recently transmitted in China to a human, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I think in the next one we're actually, I think 2 times from this we're going to actually talk about. Can you put a link in there so I can show it instead of saying it about what that instance was? And then over on D-Live, thank you, Priscilla R. says it's the 5th gen killing everything. Divine 1122, Priscilla R. Lisa K23 going after our chickens. Oh, you never know. Again, we get fresh eggs from our friends. In fact, our friend Lloyd has just, once we ended up eating real eggs, like straight from a chicken, not 3 or 4 weeks old. You just can't go back. They're the best eggs in the world. The white, the yolks are just, it's unbelievable.
It's great.
We support you, Marf and Dex. Thank you, Susie P. Thank you so much. Lisa K says 150,000. I know. It's really, really awesome. Thank you, everybody that has subscribed. I really do appreciate you, and I'm just so appreciative. 150,000 people. Congratulations, brother. Brendan Henschel. Thank you. I appreciate that. As a creator to a creator, I really, 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 really appreciate that. And again, make sure to go subscribe to our other channel. I hope we hit 200,000. That will be a big one on that channel as well. And then Scooby-Doo Do Right, Griffle, Jeannie F. Chandler, thank you so much. Lisa K23, Squeak 000777, Dr. Timestein, thank you so much. Bear Claws, Serenity PA, Priscilla R. says you're sure to keep us on our toes. Gene W, Susie P, God bless all of the new subscribers. Actually, Brandon Henschel was right. The new people. That was a really good point, Brandon. All right, and Florida set to have incredible orange skies as a massive Saharan dust cloud approaches. It says that an enormous Saharan dust cloud is set to hit Florida this week, having traveled close to 5,000 miles away from the coast of Africa. The plume of dust particles is currently moving across the Atlantic and is predicted to arrive in the Sunshine State by the middle of the week. The dust will be the thickest over Florida Peninsula on Wednesday and will stick around through to at least Saturday next week. Okay, so Dex, I want you to think about this, and everybody else to think about this. This is just a thought that came to my head, thinking about how the I country was going up to the coast of Africa and all this. Just curious, could you release a bioagent, say, in Africa when an event like this happens, not get carried with the airstream or whatever and get over to the U.S.?
It certainly sounds like it could be transported. The question would be, would it survive? But yeah.
Well, could one be designed that doesn't perish?
I'm sure it could. I'm sure anything can be made. So yeah.
I just had a thought, like, what if you released ricin powder or something into the sky? Not saying that that's what happened. I'm just saying, what if that could happen one day, where somebody releases kind of a gas or something and it just sweeps across countries?
And that stuff, it's not, like, I guess it falls from the sky while it's coming across, but maybe not, because enough of it gets here. But I will tell you this, we've seen this before, but we haven't seen it as much as we did last year. And obviously it looks like it's starting up again this year. But the thing that is notable is that it does leave a film. Like you can see stuff on your car and things like that after those events have happened. And it's not just Florida. It hits Florida, but then it goes, typically sweeps up into the jet stream that goes through the south. Sometimes it kicks back to the Atlantic, but a lot of times it, can go up, because I know we got it here in Georgia before.
Well, and we've seen when these clouds come in, it changes the entire sun. We saw a similar thing where we had all of the smoke in Washington and Oregon, to the point where we had these crazy, crazy red, orange, yellow sunsets that were just, unbelievable. I've never seen something like it in my life. But they say that it does a similar thing too. When you have dust in there or these dust clouds, it creates these crazy, crazy sunsets. So if you're over there in that area and you have the dust cloud, take pictures of it. Or if you have a particularly thick area of it, make sure to take pictures and send it to us. Or if you get video of it, go to marfooglenews.com and submit it to Play My Video. Again, that's a tab right at the top of the website. Speaking of which, we've got a story here that we've got to be kind of dance on, dance off type of thing. There are rumors of the U.S. secretly harboring an official, and it's swirling around. Dex, what do you think about this? So this is. Well, as we get into the article and we talk a little bit more about what it is, it's kind of insightful, and it's definitely piquing my interest. But just on the rude surface of it, thinking that we are potentially harboring someone, which I guess you may do from time to time, but it's not that often we've got somebody significant that is potentially a whistleblower or trying to get information out, or not liked by their country and doing something for our country potentially. Well, let me read this part, because this is a defector, someone who is incredibly important. It says Chinese language anti-media and Twitter are abuzz this week with rumors that a vice minister of state security, Dong Jingwei, defected in mid-February, flying from Hong Kong to the United States with his daughter Dong Yang. It says Dong Jingwei supposedly gave the U.S. information about check this out. Zoom in on that. That changed the stance of the Bee administration concerning the origins of this. Something's going down, people. Wake up. It says Dong is or was a longtime official in China's Ministry of State Security, also known as the Yunbu. His publicly available background indicates that he was responsible for the ministry's counterintelligence efforts in China, i.e. spy catching, since being promoted to vice minister in April 2018. If the stories are true, Dong would be the highest level defector in the history of China. If this happened, again, this is a rumor. So you guys can go in, and I need you guys to finish this this article, because there's a lot of stuff here that is gonna snatch and grab. If this is true, that there's a lot of puzzle pieces that will fit together, and we'll end up kind of piecing those together if we can for you in the coming future. But also on top of this, there's a lot of content that you have to watch. I know that a good percentage of you are not going to the website and seeing this web-only content. this is probably the most important section of all of what we're doing right now is not even on any platform. It's actually on our website. It's completely free. All of the sources are there. You don't have to do anything. You just go here. Everything here is just absolutely insane. If you don't read every one of these, then you are most likely not, you're not really on top of it. You really got to get to this. A lot of it is impossible to stay neutral on. I think that, we should be able to stay neutral and not go one direction or the other. Obviously, you guys kind of guess what I am and my thoughts on things. Obviously, I'm a Christian right-leaning person, but I try to keep it very open to everybody because I really do think that we should be able to talk and have friends and, like it was like 12 years ago where you could be like, I voted for this or I voted for that. Oh, cool. I hate that guy. I do. I hate your guy. Oh, okay. Let's have a beer. And that was it. But now it's like, I'm going to disown you. I'm going to burn your house while you're in it. Well, you know what I mean, Dex.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Sorry.
I'm sure we all see our, opposites and how they react and how we react. So, yeah.
You scared me for a second, though. You didn't say anything. I thought somebody's burning your house. Whew. Okay. Dex, what else is over there? You got a lot of stuff in there.
Oh, yeah, we got a lot, especially when it comes to the bean counters. This is just continues to go on. A lot of stuff going on in Georgia. So if you're interested in what's happening there, potentially even some pretty crazy statements that they're saying about potential flips, go take a look. A lot of other, some other interesting things. What's going on in even the fashion world. The fashion world made it, and even Tucker made the list this time. So go take a look. If you go to marfooglenews.com, look for the thumbnail for this show, click on it, scroll down, look for web-only content. It's a small amount of content, but it's the most important stuff you need to know that we can't talk about here. So check it out, marfooglenews.com.
All right, and everybody over on DLive, thank you. Susie P is the #1 supporter tonight. Lisa K right behind Lisa K23, and then Jimmy Shively. I so appreciate you guys. And then let me pull this up real quick. I don't want to make sure to not miss anybody here. Folgers in the morning. Situation normal. Palestinians are more afraid of Hamas. Let's see here. Can't see the rest of it. Hold on. Palestinians are more afraid of Hamas rockets because IS rockets hit their targets. 80% of their deaths were friendly fire. There's video. Thank you. Situation normal. Make sure you feel free to share links. Oh man, our new platform is going to be awesome. We'll be able to just start sharing stuff and get it all, swirling around. Fair Dad, thank you so much. Cameron Combs, Stephanie Montgomery, James Fox, Stephen McMahon. A special shout out to Gone Girl 777. I hope that you are safe and sound wherever you are. Cameron Combs, EMP Shield, thank you for being the #1 supporter on YouTube. Looks like we're going to have to make an EMP Shield song. I don't think that's ever happened. Kate Paul, Heather Smith, you are #2, I believe. Thank you so much. And Randall Edge, thank you for being the last one out yesterday. To all the new people that have joined me tonight, I really do appreciate you. Make sure to check out our website. Make sure to check out that information. Go through our previous videos. You can actually use our website and search through stuff. If there's a particular subject that you want to hear my opinion on, you can go to the search bar on our website and it will show you any show that we've talked about those things. So, for instance, Loch Ness Monster. You can probably find a show that we've covered that. So, there's hundreds of shows there, and they're all archived with all of the articles there. So, thank you, everybody. Now it's officially time for... What is it called, Dex? It's called something. I can't remember.
It's not a shout out.
It's not a shoutro. It's a...
No. It's not a shout out. It's not an outro. Now you got it.
I turned on the echo like 3 times. Just do the last part.
It's a shoutro.
Oh my gosh. I turned you down at the same time I turned up the echo. Okay, let's just start over, Dex. It's not a wait. It's not a shout out. It's okay, I do it's not a shout out. You do. Wait, I turned you off. And now I turned the echo on. Okay, I'm saying it's not a shout out. It's not a shout out.
It's not an outro.
It's a shoutro. That was the worst ending ever in Marfoogle history. This is where I say all of your names because you are the credits in a silly song of satisfaction to the world.
Everybody really wanna go fly. I bet my mom Molly on the bench on the ride. A brat for a pie flit on the back. Going right back, mom's her asshole. Emily and no fetch you in a situation normal. Bring it while you back with the watchful eye. Jim Elliott on shy. Going right back down in the fly. I just wanna fly now. 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 Gotta go back, bring it back, bring it back, sing it. I'm not gonna be sitting crying, no good undying. Sitting crying, everyone no good undying. I'm not gonna be sitting crying. Melon on the cove on the Williams Palm, Mamelon battery and Nazibi moons are gay like beefs. I made it, D-Life kept me in the loading screen. Then I in the morning, thanks for your dedication, guys. Love to the famine. Debbie on the side, reggae on that bam. Bring it back, arcade on the old town. Roll it back now, more for the nose and I'm gonna roll it back now. I just wanna fly now. I just wanna fly now. Fly, 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 fly. Susie on the beat and I bring it back. Doing right back and I lose tag. Susie on the beat and I do it back. Now I'm losing track. Susie on the beat and I'm doing that. Susie on the beat and I'm losing track. Susie on the beat and I'm doing that. Susie on the beat and I'm losing track. Susie on the beat and I'm doing that. Susie on the beat and I'm losing track. Susie on the beat and I'm doing that. Susie on the beat and I'm losing that. Susie on the beat and I'm doing that. Susie on the beat and I'm losing track. Susie on the beat and I'm doing that. Susie on the beat and I'm losing track. Susie on the beat and I'm doing that. Susie on the beat and I'm losing track. Susie on the beat and I'm doing that. Susie on the beat and I'm losing track. Susie on the beat and I'm doing that. Susie on the beat and I'm losing track. A situation normal in the margin at all. Bring you on down like the bad for all low. Bring it down now like I done anymore. Bring it down now and I go to the store. Susan on the beat and I'm doing that. losing on the beat and I'm losing track. Losing on the beat and I'm doing that.
I got the family on the mighty. I bring it down and now and then and I'm way with the smiley. Debbie, you know these they go rugger on me down now. Popping on the cork and I bring it down and down and now. Gone girl, 777, everybody meet it. Boy, I'm bringing it down and then a double ding it. Oh, bring it down, bow. Lindy Fletcher and I'm watchful night. Jim Elliott and I lost my sight. Thomas on the arch and Bolt on the bike. John from Chicago on the side. Oh, nah, we're the Robinson Jonathas. Joe Dubboss. Joe Dubs and the Steve Johnson with the Thomas Popham and the Yorkie Mom.
Hey, need an air done. Oh, everybody going down, smash on. My mom sitting on me in the aisle. Bring it down back now, bring it down style. Everybody wanna go, perfect truth, on the quiet on bread. Red Hines XJ, grateful on the day. Hacking SFR and the key shot, ayy. Oh, bring down with the Judy dog. On knowledge, shorty 20, everybody pow, pow, pow. With the secret, not scare on the secret on the web, on the secret on the secret on the weapon, and to bring it down. On the save yourself, send the sheep on the good now, bring it on it now.